Lesson 11.8 is exact value of trig functions in degrees. So this is the unit circle. And what the unit circle does is we've got our 0 degrees here. Remember, our initial ray is always on the x-axis, and then another ray is opening up and going counterclockwise around. And it separates into a 30 degree, then we have a 45, a 60, and then a 90. And you should recognize these because these go with our special right triangles that we've already learned. So then we go 90, 120, 135, 150, 180, and so on, all the way around. So what happens here is we're going to be able to have these common kind of reference angle triangles and be able to figure out the actual value quickly. I'm going to go ahead and do 1, 2, and 3 before I come back to these. So 1, 2, and 3 are really easy because these are called quadrantal angles, meaning they land on one of the axes. So 180 degrees would be, this is my initial opening up, and then all the way here. So I'm trying to think of what is sine of 180. You want to think about what's this ordered pair. Well, this went back 1 unit, not up or down any. That ordered pair would be -1, comma 0. We've learned that sine, so let me just make a triangle here. We've learned that sine is always the opposite side, or really the y value. So we want to look at the y value, which is 0. So sine of 180 degrees is actually 0. Okay, cosine of a 90. So I want to go 90 degrees, which would be up here. I want to think about what this ordered pair would be. This time my x value is 0, but I went up 1. Cosine of an angle is the adjacent leg. That's always your x value. So sine was y, cosine is x. So looking at x, that is 0. There's no math really to do. Okay, tangent of 270. So this is my 90, 180, 270 is down here. This ordered pair would be 0, comma, -1. Tangent is an opposite divided by adjacent, a y divided by x. So my y would be -1 divided by 0. I can't do this. I cannot divide by 0. So we just call this undefined. Just like we did when we had slope with a 0 in the denominator. Also think about it is making a vertical line which has undefined slope. Versus tangent, if you had it be here at 0 degrees or a 180, then this point would be -1, comma 0. You would be taking 0 divided by -1, which would be 0, which is the slope of a horizontal line. So tangent's either 0 or undefined. Okay, so now getting to the bottom 3, let's go back up to these special right triangles. This is called a unit circle for a reason, because the hypotenuse is always 1, or the radius of the circle is 1 unit. So I want to think about this. In my special right triangle, I knew that across from the 30 was the short leg. And I also know that to get from short leg to hypotenuse, it was times 2, right? It was times 2. So if I go backwards, I'm going to divide by 2. So 1 divided by 2 would be a half. And then to get from short leg to long leg, it was times a radical 3. So that would be radical 3 over 2. So you need to remember that the short leg is a half, the long leg is the square root of 3 over 2. Right, a 45, 45, 90, this is a leg and a leg, and the relationship that it was taking this times the square root of 2. So now we're going to go backwards and divide by square root of 2. When I have 1 divided by square root of 2, I have to rationalize, and I get square root of 2 over 2. And the legs would be the same because it's isosceles. All right, and then when I have a 60 here, this is actually the same triangle as this, so I'm not going to do any more work. I know that the short leg, this is a distance of a half. Literally think of like measuring this out, and this is 0.5 of a foot, whereas this was 1 foot, and then this long leg was square root of 3 over 2. So you need to remember this 1/2, square root of 3 over 2, and square root of 2 over 2. I don't know why I put that, sorry. I don't know why I put that over 3 and then over 2. Okay, so now let's try the ones down here. 330 degrees would be in quadrant 4, and we're thinking if this is 360, what's 360 minus 330? That would be a 30-degree angle for my reference angle. And I want sine. What was the leg across from or opposite my 30? It's a half. But I'm going down. I'm in quadrant 4, so it'd be negative a half. So that's all you're doing is you're trying to think, what was the leg in that triangle? What is the sign of it, positive or negative? That's it. Number 5, cosine of a negative 45. Careful, this means you go clockwise. So we're going to go this way. But our angle is still a 45-degree angle. Okay, but cosine is the adjacent. So I want to know, what is this leg? Well, both legs are the same in a 45, 45, 90. They're both square root of 2 over 2. Is it positive or negative? It's positive because you're going to the right. And then last one, tangent of 240. We're in quadrant 3. This is my 180. You don't want to go from the 270. You want to think, what's 240 minus 180? That would be a 60-degree reference angle. So there's 30, 45, 60. And they want tangent. A little bit harder because we want a y divided by x. What is the longer leg in a 30, 60, 90? Longer leg is square root of 3 over 2. Divided by the shorter leg is 1/2. So it would look like square root of 3 over 2 divided by half. They're both going to be negative. I also cannot divide fractions. I multiply by the reciprocal, 2 over 1. My 2's can cancel. So when I multiply straight across, I get negative square root of 3 over 1, which is negative square root of 3. So you are trying to figure out what your triangle shape is, what's your reference angle, a 30, a 60, or a 45. Figure out what leg they want based on sine, cosine, or tangent, and then figure out what the signs are going up, down, left, right, and that's it.